This is the only moment from the Game Awards I think about, if I happen to be thinking about the Game Awards for some reason.
And the Game Award for Best Performance goes to Maggie Robertson.
I mean, there probably are others, but I can't seem to think of them right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Saladino.
Amazing. And the winner is Alan Wake 2.
I don't even care about the Game Awards, and yet I'm still glad Marvel's Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo didn't win any awards. I'm especially glad that it didn't win Best Game Direction. The moment when they award it to Alan Wake, and you can see the creative director of Spider-Man, Brian Entity or whatever, when you see the look on his face, it's very subtle. And I actually watched the awards on television. Well, not all of it. I was bouncing back and forth between watching Kyle's stream and Synthetic Man's stream and just doing other stuff. So I only caught bits and pieces of the show. But you could just see the moment. So see it on television, you can see it's very subtle, and I could be schizoid about this, but you can see kind of the way he gets crestfallen, or he just looks like, when he's waiting for the announcement and they say, Alan Wake 2, by Sweet Baby Incorporated. And he goes like, ugh. And then he claps and looks over. You know, it sucks, but I really don't think he actually cared about winning the award for the game. I really think that he wanted to win the award so that he can stick it in fans' faces who, you know, have been dogging the game out because of, you know, the MJ missions and the fact that they're going forward with Miles Morales as the Insomniac Spider-Man, all this stupid stuff that they're doing. So it's one of those things where he's like trying to thumb his nose at fans, and they didn't give, at least not the Game Awards, didn't treat them like they treated The Last of Us Part 2. So that's great. That's another victory for the anti-cancel pigs, right? But I'm not talking, when I say I don't care about the Game Awards, I really don't care about the Game Awards. And I'm not saying that to sound like this cool hipster douchebag. You know, I may be a hipster douchebag, but I'm not saying it to impress anybody with what I don't like or what I'm not into. And like, there's this thing where, you know, people do this thing where they tell you what they don't like or what they're not into. And you're supposed to go, wow, you're so cool. You have so much integrity. You're so much deeper than I am. But no, nobody cares. Like, nobody's impressed by what you don't like. But no, I can't get anything out of it. It's way too cringe. And that's a part of award shows. That's just how it is. And they're not supposed to be these deep, profound things, right? But they're still way too cringe. I used to love watching the Oscars. I haven't watched the Oscars in years. One thing is I don't have regular television or cable. So they should put that stuff online if they want more people to watch it. But they refuse to do it. So that's their problem. But, you know, I used to care about the films. Even if I didn't think the best films were nominated, I used to care about that sort of thing and care about the idea that the Academy, even though they had, you know, maybe safer tastes or, you know, more sentimental tastes, they still would pick interesting stuff. Now it's just a shit show when it comes to the nominations, and it's just ridiculous. And of course, now they've gone to this whole D&I thing where you have to have this number of black women, this number of trans people, so on and so forth. It's like, you know, Oscars are dead. I really just watched it because I wanted to see maybe, you know, a director I liked or an actress I like, or, you know, a bunch of cleavage and ass and nice dresses, but they've destroyed that. And with the Game Awards, it was never something that I took really seriously, simply because, you know, with game journalists, they almost always have been upfront about their cancel pig attitude, you know, and especially when The Last of Us Part 2 got all those awards, you know, particularly Best Director, which journalists knew and was aware of the stories about the terrible crunch and all the people who left Naughty Dog because of the work that the hell that they went through making Last of Us Part 2. They could have given that game all the awards and made a statement about how much they actually cared about things like crunch and, the employees or whatever, and not given Druckmann the director award if they really cared about that stuff. But no, they hate the fans and what fans like more than they hate people in the industry who exploit their workers and who are only interested in like clout. And my name is the most important thing. And I don't care who I hurt, who I injure, whose lives I ruin to make this masterpiece. I'm going to do it. But I don't know, man. I hope it was worth it because, despite all the hundreds of Game of the Year awards and whatnot that The Last of Us Part 2 won, it's effectively killed the franchise. And now Naughty Dog is reduced to constantly remaking the first two games. Remaking, remastering, rejiggering, whatever that they're doing to those games. They're going to keep doing that now over and over and over again to try to make the money back from Part 2. It's a joke, and they're going to get diminishing returns. And I talk about The Last of Us Part 2 in this situation because that's clearly what Insomniac was going for with Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo. They were trying to make their Last of Us Part 2. And it's crazy because they were doing things that they knew would alienate fans, but they were smelling their farts so much that they didn't take a step back and go, hey, they told us they didn't want these MJ stealth missions in the game. They go, yeah, they said that, but screw them. We're going to make them like it. So they turned MJ into Ellie, as voiced by Abby, right? And it's just crazy how running around, shooting all these monstrosities with a backpack, no less, looking manly. Like Abby, although Abby's face was fine. It was her body that was clearly a masculine, male, trans-friendly body. I know that they really loved the whole idea of having Miles's girlfriend going around town, and they did the little gimmick where people speak to her in emojis like she's, mentally ill and all that stuff. They thought that stuff was going to be great and that they would be praised forever for stuff like that. They got completely shut out at the Game Awards. And it's hilarious. And it really does kind of prove a lot of us right. I remember saying this, that I felt like this game in particular was going to be irrelevant in just a few weeks after release. That is very divisive. The people who were really pushing it, besides journalists who actually weren't really excited about the game itself, they were more excited about, the death missions and the, trying to defend MJ's hideous design. But the people who really pushing it as far as players were the fanboys, the console war idiots who were propping up a game that doesn't deserve it. And to show how irrelevant the game has become, even the Game Awards and the journalists and people who vote for that didn't care enough to try to own the chuds by giving it a bunch of awards. They were more interested in promoting Sweet Baby's bigger project, Alan Woke, which, is not doing well financially. I don't know how well. I'm sure Spider-Man 2 is doing well. It's probably not going to do as well as the first game. I don't know, but I didn't check on that. I just don't think that it is lighting anybody's fire. It isn't something that you see people talking about. I remember when I played the first game, people were constantly talking about it on social media, YouTube. You constantly saw things about it. But with this game, I just don't hear it the same way. But I don't even hear a lot of people talking about it to dunk on it. I've got a couple of more videos about this game I want to do. And the only reason why I think I can get away with it now is because of the Game Awards. So I'm going to try to get them out as soon as I can. Because it really doesn't mean anything to anybody, I don't think. Not anymore. They tried to make The Last of Us Part 2. They're trying to be the new Naughty Dog when they should have just kept being Insomniac. Because they were making games that people really liked. And for whatever reason, they decided to pivot to...
We pick and choose our spots. We knew we had to make her more of a proactive, capable person. And if she's a little OP, I don't give a shit. She's fine. I don't care. I wanted her. I felt like it would be taking the easy way out if we didn't make her play to the point where I said, we're going to do it. I don't care. We'll cut other stuff because I want to make sure that it's important to show her be a capable hero. I think it's really important. And you don't need, this might sound cliche or whatever, cheesy, but like, you don't need to have powers to be a hero. Yeah. And I want
roll that beautiful bean footage.
Alan Wake 2.
It's clear once again that the journalists and the Game Awards cared more about Alan Woke 2 than Spider-Man. And, Alan Wake, that's not going to do anything. It's not doing anything now. Like I said, I think they gave a lot of those awards to Alan Wake simply to try to give it more publicity. But they don't understand that players are completely disconnected from that game. Not because it's weird. I think it's Remedy has had problems really selling some of these games over the years. I think Control is a truly great game. And I think it's kind of struggled to get a lot of widespread love from players. But, something like Alan Wake, which is clearly woke, it's not just because it has a black woman in it, but the fact that they race swapped the character that was already white, that's woke. And she's a Viking, that's woke. And that you play most of the game as this black woman Viking. It's like a 15-hour game, and apparently you play 10 hours of the game as the race-swapped black lead. That's ridiculous. People they're tired of that. They're not going to play your game, no matter how many times the Game Awards give you, accolades, or how many times Shill Up or whatever tell you how great the game is. People are not going to play the game. As soon as they see a black woman in it, that's a red flag for most anti-cancel pig people. Because what it means to race swap a character. It means we don't care about the integrity of our art. We're letting sensitivity readers and sociopaths in to tell us how better to make our games and to show our vision. And it's things that they all know are not popular with fans and players. They don't justify why it's so great and important. They just attack the fans for being bigots and chuds and whatnot. You're not going to sell games insulting the people you need to buy them. So yeah, whatever. Marvel's Spider-Man 2, the big takeaway from this for me was that it didn't win anything at the Game Awards. And I think the main reason, like I said, that even wanted to win anything was so they could stick it to fans. But even journalists, even the Game Awards, didn't care enough about getting back at the fans by pretending that they thought Spider-Man 2 Electric Boogaloo, MJ 2 Electric Boogaloo, Miles Morales 2, whatever, they didn't think that it was worth giving any more clout or shine to.
Showing the world from all different angles, we're going to make her moments better. We're going to take on the challenge. We're going to make people like playing as her.
Alan Wake 2.